Hello, Happy New Year. Evan here. How's it going? Um, yeah, so I just turned the camera on. This is like the most impromptu thing I have ever done in terms of like basic it's like I've reached and expanded like new like horizons of like impromptu-ness in terms of how this goes. Also I'm trying a slightly new mic arrangement. I, like let me know if this actually works better, and I hope that whenever I tilt my head down it's not too much. In fact, I'm hoping that the volume, anyways, I think you understand. As you probably already know, I'm always working to improve things and to make things better. And also, if this is your first time watching a video of mine, I am autistic, and that makes it so um I exist in the world differently. And that also and as it pertains to you, that I- like my neurology influences the way that I do everything, including the way that I speak. So yeah. Anyways, haters zero, Evan one, basically. Hashtag Evan one. But yeah, basically, I really feel like and I'm still working on the eye thing. Like we still don't know exactly what's going on. It's like Billy said in her song "My Strange Addiction" off of her first album. Like my doctors can't explain my symptoms or my pain, and it's like I feel like my guess is as good as theirs. And as important as that is, it's not the primary reason I came on to turn this I to turn Tenzin, my camera, like my phone, on to show you this. Basically, the thing is that basically I just came on here to say, don't let nobody, I mean nobody, try to make you into something that you're not in your head. In this, I, now, in case you're wondering what I mean by that, the thing is that the thing is that in a world full of inauthenticity, if you choose to step into the world as fully as you can in every moment and as consistent and do that as consistently as you are able to, like as you go, like every day, then the thing is that the way the world is right now, I, it's all but guaranteed that people are going to hate you for some reason or another, because there's certain things that they've been taught to see as societally acceptable and other things that they're like societally unacceptable. But the thing is that society was made by people, and so the thing is that we set those terms and we can change them, and we can also choose to step out of them if they don't serve us, if they're not beneficial for us to believe. And like if you remember from my other videos, like the thing is that I'm always about benefit versus detriment. Like how does this thing benefit me versus how detrimental is this thing to me, which in my case I also include other people as an extension of myself, because it's like I want everybody to win, which is another reason I'm sharing this video with you. But yeah, don't let anybody like try to tell you or succeed in convincing you that their estimation of you being your authentic self is wrong or inaccurate or disrespectful. A lot of people, they conflate, especially parents, like, and especially like parents like of people of color. Um, like true personal stories here, and I've got tons of them. Um, Basically, the thing is that there are far too many authority figures in the lives of children. I got my ice cream with with some chocolate chip cookie like bits, and then basically my own cookies and cream sort of thing. Um um so this video was impromptu. I just ran up here from doing the dishes. It's like there's other stuff here. Just like I usually go out about, and just like, man, all this plays into the narrative, and even the fact that I have Violator right there and James Brown right there, just like not the sort of thing. It's like your light in this world is going to violate the darkness that many people hold that they have like really over identified with, in the sense that like you're probably able to see the best in people, aren't you? Like if the sentiments of this video are resonating with you, then I imagine that that's probably the case for you too. Takes one to know one. But yeah, basically the thing is that I just want, I came on here for so many reasons, but honestly, I just want you to understand that at the end of the day, I don't want anyone to make you think that it's like parents and other authority figures in life, especially if they were born before 1980, they tend to conflate respect with silence and advocacy for your own and things like advocacy and self-respect and speaking up for yourself and your rights and your needs and your boundaries as disrespect. And sure, you can say like, oh, that's very short-sighted of them, and you'd be right, but the thing is that I don't find that particularly beneficial in trying to help you to understand the entire picture. And that basically the thing is that oftentimes whenever people get mad at you for being yourself, really there's I was going to say sort of telling on themselves, but they are vehemently telling but they're vehemently telling on themselves, and they're projecting all of that pain that they feel from you being you back onto you, because they think that that's going to make them feel better either way. And the thing is that sure, it's like if you're like me, like you think about it, it's like actually like projecting my own pain onto somebody else isn't going to help me or them in the long run. But the thing is that sometimes people are in so much pain, like an ineffable amount of pain, that they can't see past that. They can't see that there are other ways to vent your frustrations and really to like resolve your traumas, honestly. And so the thing is that I just urge, if this feels like your situation, then I invite you. I don't urge people like usually to do anything really, because like I, because at the end of the day, like nobody can tell you what to do, not even me. Like, and the thing is that even though I might like present myself as an authority figure on a bunch of different things, at the end of the day, I'm not someone who's going to buy into what I believe is. I'm not going to buy into the delusion that I can tell you what to do and expect you to actually like do it. So basically, I'm just inviting you. Like, and if you're staying this long, then chances are you feel some sort of connection with something. I'm gonna eat my ice cream before it starts melting even more. But yeah, anyways, it's like I'm a different guy since the last time I had a sit down video like this. A bunch of stuff has happened, and basically, I'm just like over the past several months, it's like I've not only like started to believe that I'm unstoppable, like I've actually been getting ever more mountains of proof that I truly am unstoppable, that people can really throw whatever sort of trauma they have back at me. Um, like while I'm working to heal my own traumas and the stuff that actually belongs to me and not the stuff that was forced upon me. Yeah. I'm forcing it away because again, it's just like I'm in that energy where it's just like get off of me. That being said, it's not as binary as like people usually make that into. Either way, and honestly, it's like just a second ago I was thinking like, oh, this video is getting too long, and it's just like honestly, what I'm realizing based on some of the comments, it's like sometimes people actually do have time to be with me for an hour and just be like, hey, it's like I want to have your thoughts, and I don't plan on making this video an hour because there's other stuff that there's other I, it's like there's other stuff I want to get out of the way so that I can go to bed. And and do other things, including creating. I've actually been getting like more into that. The holidays and the spaces between that time, it was very difficult for me to create anything, like including YouTube videos. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. So basically, anyone who's actually listening, like up to this point, like you are like a real one, and I think that you actually rock with me quite well. Like maybe not 100% entirely, but maybe 100% entirely. But still, you do it more than most other people, because most other people probably would have clicked off or tapped off or whatever. Like now, it's like, again, being in that sort of zillennial disconnect, it's very interesting. And again, it's like you can probably tell. It's like, oh, like this guy's neurodivergent, and it's like, yes, I am. Period. That's exactly what I am. You hit it right on the head. Do you have a problem with that? Hope not. Anyways, because it can't change, and there's no need to change. It's like autism speaks. Is like someday we'll find a cure for autism. It's like a cure for being different and a cure for failing to be common in a world that honors conformity and condemns divergent thought. Weird. It's like at the end of the day, if you eat, it's like if you cut my skin, if you kill me, the thing is that you still have a body that has an autistic nervous system. I die an autistic person. It's easier to kill me than to change my neurology, which is actually deeply profound. If you actually sit with that, that's mad to think about. Anyways, but yeah, this video, like, I want to sort of, it's like there are evidently talking points in like a few of them, but they all sort of revolve around the same thing. It's about individuality. It's about authenticity. It's about stepping into your authenticity and not making it about, oh, I'm going to be authentic tomorrow, or I'm going to be authentic 5 hours from now, or even 1 hour from now, or even 5 seconds from now. Well, maybe 5 seconds, but really it's about be. It's like Teal Swan was helping me to understand that spiritual practices and self-improvement practices, they aren't things that you have to think about outside of the present moment, in the sense that basically any sort of actual, it's like any sort of beneficial practice that you want to start, or any sort of beneficial practice that you want to start, or any practice that you want to start, period. Like regardless of whether it's beneficial or not, you might learn something from something that's not all that beneficial, but either way, like I'm like, I tend to champion beneficial stuff, because a lot of people, like, they've had their fill of detriment, myself included. So anyways, but yeah, also there's a stimming sticker that was helping me to communicate that. Thanks, man. Yeah. um but yeah, basically, oh, ice cream town. See, it's already melting a lot more. Enjoy your life, man. And on these videos, when I say man, I'm not saying man, I'm saying apostrophe man, which is short for human. um it's like all my sentiments are there for all humans who are willing to listen, regardless of their gender expression, regardless of their sexual orientation, regardless of their ethnicity, regardless of anything. If you identify as a sentient being who happens, especially if you happen to be human, it's like these sentiments are for you, and that's why I'm sharing them on a forum like where anybody can literally see it. Who has access to who either has access to the internet, or who has access to a person who has access to the internet, or access to something that has access to the internet. Either way, it's like this video and all its talking points. It's like they're all like incredible talking points, and we might even like splinter off and create other ones. Let me know if you want to speak about any particular ones. I'd be open to that. Either way, because I just love talking about this sort of stuff, like pontificating about all sorts of different like things and ways and things that we could do to help the world. So yeah. Anyways, so all that said, what all these points sort of revolve around is, and sort of feed back into is this idea that I invite you to not let other people's negative estimations of you acting and standing squarely in your own authenticity moment to moment. um I don't want, or I invite you to not take those negative estimations that people project back onto you, well, not back onto you, like from them onto you. I, how it's a one-way thing. Like the thing is that, like I invite you to not take that estimation, the estimation of those negative sentiments as your own, because at the end of the day, the thing is that, like I said, those people are telling on themselves, and it hurts them to see that someone in their midst in that moment is that vehemently proud and perhaps above all willing to be who they are, to be authentic to who they are. And so the thing is that, like, it's like you don't have to believe in like prayer, like in the sort of archetypal or stereotypical like Christian way. Like you don't have to believe in that sort of culty like prayer to just have some sympathy or empathy for those people, because really, like, at the end of the day, they're just in so much pain that they can't really know the difference between hurting themselves and hurting you, and that's the only reason that they really um like hurt you for those things. And that literally happened to me tonight. I won't like get into it. Like in this particular case, I don't really think it's necessary. But the thing, I think it would be helpful, but also like again, like this sort of benefit versus detriment thing. It's always a ratio, and I think that it's not really worth it in this case. It's like maybe it's a story for another time, or maybe a book. It's like Tyler the Creator said, "Read a book on me." Um, um, Also, shout out to Chromacopia. It's like first listen, that thing beat Igor like practically instantly in my head. It was mad. I love that album. It's mad. Like it's so authentic to Tyler and just in general. It just like it sees what things are. I love it. Anyways, yeah. So it's like the thing is that if you know that you're doing right, and there are so many different ways that you can express this sentiment, which is a large part of the reason as to why I'm struggling to like share it as quickly as I would like to. But the thing is, and I refrain from using the word succinct because far too often that word has been so freaking weaponized against me by vehemently impatient people. Which again, um, I understand where they're at. But that being said, case in point, like they can choose to believe whatever they want to believe about me, and the thing is that like basically I like truly understand now that I can also believe whatever I want to believe about myself too. Like if I believe that I'm good being who I am, even if it makes other people uncomfortable, um, because they're too afraid to actually embody the energy that I'm dishing out to them, and they end up projecting all that frustration on me. At the end of the day, like they have the liberty to do that, just like I have the liberty to say, no, that's not true about me. And both things can be true because evidently they're doing that on some level because that belief that, like, oh, this person's being disrespectful to me, Evan's being disrespectful to me, is serving them in some way, or is serving them in some way, or like somehow in this moment. Um, and sure, you may be able to see a bigger picture where it's like that's gonna lead them to a dead end. But the thing is that, like, you want to know a secret? They don't know that yet. They don't. They don't know that yet. They don't know it. And it's okay that they don't know it. Like, it really is, because the thing is that the more that they keep going that route, the more that you just let people go for what they want, the more, like, the closer that they'll get to really knowing themselves and really diving into all the different things that make them tick and that make them who they are, like similar to probably what you've done. Like, it's like a lot of people, like in the spiritual world and just like, and in the self-improvement world, it's like it's like more often than not, Joby, Carrie Joby. Like, that's the name of my tripod. Um, um, more often than not, if you believe, if you feel that something is off about, dang, I forgot what, I forgot where that was going. It's okay. It's okay. Because that's something that's important enough that even if it doesn't come back to me before I'm done filming this video, it will come back to me at some point, and you will probably hear it like 4 or 5 times over. And that's another thing. The thing is that it's so hard for me to express these sentiments quickly, because basically, like, similar to what Ye was saying in that Joe Rogan interview, that podcast episode, it's the thing is that, like, a single idea, a single concept can come to me, like, it almost never comes to me in just one way. It often comes to me in, like, on average 5 ways, but sometimes like 7, 8, 9 ways, 10, 13 ways. Whenever I and it's like the closer that it gets to double digits and further into I, and further into double digits, it just gets so overwhelming. But five on average, and so it's like the thing is that there's so many different ways to say something. It's 1:01 a.m. Class is in session. No, just kidding. I'm not kidding about class being in session. I'm just kidding about being like that sort of like creepy, um, hyper didactic type person, because basically I'm an autodidact more like, who's more likely than not speaking to other fellow autodidacts, people who are self-made, people who are able to create more, like, people who believe that they can create things and then go about actually creating things. I, and if my I, and if my thumb grazing against the foam of my microphone made a little sound, I um sorry about that. And I, and that for me it wasn't intentional. So yeah. Anyways, stuff happens and you can recover from it. Brilliant, isn't it? Yeah. So basically, at the end of the day, like, just I invite you to just not let other people make you feel bad for being exactly who you are, being authentic to who you are, and stepping into your authenticity and your individuality as a human being, regardless of your regardless of any sort of thing. If you're a sentient being who's choosing to be who they are in the world as it is, where there's so many negative consequences for doing that, and you're still doing it, the thing is that basically you're the person who's actively changing the world. And people don't like that because they have their reasons, and I won't get into all of them right now, because most of the time people don't share them expressly with me. But either way, the thing is that even for the spiritual people, at the end of the day, authenticity is basically going to become like and this is a divination moment. I'm a divination wizard at the moment. Like, basically, the thing is that basically it's like authenticity is going to become basically the replacement movement for like a spiritual or new age spirituality type movement, because at the end of the day, basically, it's like all the integrative practices, all the healing that you do, to help yourself, it's to help you to become whole and to help you to embody who you are, not just as the spiritual part. There's all these stars in my starlight that I cast on my ceiling. Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. Madonna. Um, Lucky star. Hey there. Um, um, but yeah, the thing is that like it's not really about like exactly what you think it may be about at the end of the day. Like it's really like their pain isn't about you. And it's really about them. And that's exactly why I say anytime that they project their pain onto you, really like what they're doing to you is that they're telling on themselves. And they're like, I know I'm disrespectful and I don't know what to do about it. And the thing is that like I don't I, it's like I sound whiny, but not mockingly. It's like I'm doing it because I acknowledge that they're in that much pain that they really just feel helpless to do anything to help themselves. Helpless, that tracks. But yeah, um, so yeah, like I just say, if you are in a space where like making a moment to moment practice of being authentic to who you are in this very moment, just like I'm doing right now, and at the end of the day, I say keep doing that. I'm speaking to a mirror, and you're probably looking like at a mirror right now because that's literally what I'm doing. Like most people, they wouldn't even. And sure, part of the incentive is that my ice cream has been melting, but still, the thing is that so even if it wasn't melting, I was called to pick up my bowl of ice cream, my cookies and cream, with my chocolate chip cookies, my chocolate chip cookies from Pizza Hut, like broken up and stated in there. Not sure if you can see that. I'm not gonna spill it because now it's kind of soupy. but but yeah, the thing is that in a world where people will tell you that you're absolutely completely being in the wrong, being authentic to who you are, I'm here to be like at least one voice who says, no, they're just projecting. You're actually doing it the way that the world needs you to do it, especially if the world is to survive. Which is interesting because January 19th, 2025 right now, which means that not this coming morning when the sun comes up, but tomorrow morning, but the morning after that, if you're living in the United States, things might get stickier than they might have ever been. Um, and I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know exactly what it's going to mean. But either way, the thing with TikTok being banned because basically, like because basically I won't even get into the politics of that because a lot of times there's a lot of misinformation. But either way, like that's something that we can talk about later if you want to. Like if there's a desire for it or if I have a desire for it, it's going to come out. Either way. It's going to drop like an album. But yeah, keep being you. I love you for it. And even if you weren't, I'd still love you. um and and like regardless of what you believe, it's like you're doing what a lot of like level headed Christians say, like you're doing God's work, basically. It's like you're basically doing like what you need to do to make it so the world can actually heal because the example that you're setting, it creates so many different ripples. It's like I'm sure you're familiar with the butterfly effect. And even like I think it was Mother Teresa who said like I can't change the world but I can create many ripples. And then Tupac also said it's like I know that I won't be I think he said I know that I won't be able to change the world, but he said but I can and will affect the brain who will. And the thing is that like sure you can say that it's just like a one single human brain, but honestly the consciousness of change and divergence, that's something that has existed for as long as there's been consciousness and sentience in the universe. And so if you're a part of that, then congratulations, you're a world changer. And even if you don't step into that energy, or you're afraid to step into it right now, the thing is that at the end of the day, um, I'm going to quote the very first lines of Chromacopia, considering this is the beginning of 2025. And basically, this video is like the first part of the first song on the first track of my album of 2025, I guess you could say. And I don't really know exactly how many like videos I'll do, but either way, you'll be hearing from me, I swear. Um, so yeah, without further ado, you are the light. It's not on you, it's in you. And basically, what I'm actively like learning and practicing is the idea that, like, and it's almost like a commandment from your higher self, but kind of not, because they recognize your free will, but really it's more like advice, because you don't have to take it, but still but still like weighing the out, or and like, hey, and if you take time to weigh the odds, then you do realize that there's actually a lot of benefit from taking this advice, and that's to not dim your light for anybody. Even if it gets you in trouble. Like, the thing is that basically the best thing that I think is there for that is just, it's 1:11 a.m. Interesting. Um, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's like I invite you to not dim your light for anybody, because at the end of the day, you don't have to, because you are, excuse me, because you are doing like what the world needs people to do in order to actually change things around here, and for the better. Because in the 20th century, we had so much change, it wasn't even funny. It was crazy. But the thing is that we can really write our name on this century, the 21st century. If we recognize that, it's like if we recognize that authenticity really is the way to become a better, period. Okay, I'm done. Bye.